Hi everyone, welcome to Lady Huzzah Presents Floss Tube number 5. I'm Mr. Lady Huzzah, Bob, I'm Lisa's husband, and I have a message for a friend. Hello Sylvia, sorry I'm going to miss you. I'm going to be out of town, which you know, but I understand that you and Lisa are getting together when I'm out of town. Going to miss you, but we'll catch up with one another later on. And tell Rob I said hi. So enjoy, everybody. I'm sure Lisa has a great presentation for you, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, honey. Well, hello again, everyone. This is Lisa. Lady Huzzah Presents. This is Floss Tube number 5, September 28th. I know it's been a while. We've had a lot going on that I will fill you in on. Very busy end of summer that we had. As you can see from these things amassed near me, I have a lot to show you today, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm Lady Huzzah Presents on FlossTube and Lady Huzzah on Instagram. I will explain my husband's little intro in a little bit, just kind of some fun. First off, I want to give everyone my sincere thanks for the outpouring of love and friendship and appreciation on my last video, which was my merry-go-round. Honestly, it was so successful and I got so many wonderful comments that I was really kind of wondering what I would talk about today. People reached out to me with private messaging about how I had touched them with my Mary Cox video as far as love, loss, remembrance, friendship, family, the importance of really marking people's names and initials and events on the pieces that we stitch. I was really very thrilled with the outpouring of love that I received from my last video with Mary Cox. Just to fix an error that I had on my last video, there was a, oh no, what did I do with it? There was a piece that I mentioned that was designed by Mary, and it was not. I thought it was a piece that went with her Sailor's Horsewhip. If you have stitched the Horsewhip, this would certainly be a great companion piece, but it was on the cover of Sampler and Antique Needlework magazine, and this was not designed by Mary. It was designed by Tricia Nguyen. It was on, here it is here, the Sail Away Needle Book. So I just wanted to clarify this error. Mary did not design this piece. It was Tricia Nguyen, and she has wonderful, wonderful designs as well. Beautiful, detailed stitching on her pieces. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. So anyway, why my husband introduced himself. Well, I have to say that my husband, Bob, is very, very, did I say very supportive of my stitching. He never hesitates when I mention wanting to go to a class or a seminar. He's very patient with going to needlework stores with me in places that we visited. And he's just very supportive and encouraging with my needlework and my floss tube. So sometimes when I'm watching floss tube, he will come and sit next to me and really watch also. And certain floss tubes that I watch, he seems to have more interest in. But anyway, Sylvia, my friend Sylvia, Running with Needles and Scissors, is a personal friend of ours and her family. And whenever he comes in and sees Sylvia on the TV, he always says, "Hello, Sylvia." And on her last video, she did do a shout out to Bob. So he just wanted to return the goodwill and the fun greeting. So anyway, that was greetings from Mr. Huzzah, aka my husband Bob. So anyway, we can get on with the floss tube for today. I have a lot to show. Like I mentioned, it was a very busy end of summer. I did want to mention that in my floss tube, I think it was the floss tube number 3, I was offering some waxed pieces from Teresa Janjanin. and I had 4 giveaways. Only 2 of them have been claimed. So what has not been claimed yet was the little pin cushion and also the tin of wax to wax your threads. So I'm looking for the people that won those prizes to email me. I will have my email in the show notes, and I will tell you again who they were. The one was Fabric and Fables 7025, and she won the pin cushion. And then Brenda Holdsman 4560 won the tin of wax. If I don't hear from them in my email by the next time I do a video, I will offer them to other people. Okay, now for the winners of my giveaway from the Mary Cox video. Mary Cox was very, very generous to donate 3 lovely items for me to give away. Okay, the first one who won the vintage pin keep, here it is here. It's a vintage pin keep from Prudential, is Autumn Jewel 1357, and this was her comment. She said, "Loved this. First time I crossed you. We'll look at the past floss tubes of yours. I'm a widowed 75-year-old who has stitched since I was a teenager in Ohio on the lake. You have the most amazing collection of vintage memories. Was a lovely Sunday morning and you filled it with, was a lonely Sunday morning and you filled it with a delightful floss tube, my new friend. Featuring Mary was a delight. You are both an inspiration." Okay, so Autumn Jewel 1357. Please email me with your address and I will get this out to you. Thank you very much for watching. If anyone is interested in winning my giveaways, make sure you like and subscribe to my videos, to my channel, and leave the comments with the keywords that I mentioned for each giveaway. And please do not mention prize, raffle, whatever. I want to keep the creepers away. I'm not quite sure how that all works, but that's what everybody says. And I just don't need any negativity on my floss tube. Okay, the second winner was Westy Wolf, and she wins the Friend So Dear pin keep from Mary, and it says, "Wow, vintage friend in America. First time on your channel and I was blown away by your treasures. What a legacy you have. Beautiful, all of it." So Westy Wolf, please email me and I will get this out to you too. Then the third one goes to Margaret Bramlett 1645, and she gets the America pin cushion. And it says, "I am also a Mary Cox groupie, but I don't have as many as you. You have inspired me to FFO the many projects I have stitched but not finished. I especially love the vintage look, the theme of a friend, and the focus on America that she embraces. The last class I took from Mary was at the Attic in January at Sampler Symposium. I hope she will be here in 2024 and that I can reserve a place. Really enjoyed your Mary retrospective." So thank you very much, Margaret Bramlett, and make sure you email me to claim this pin keep. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, what I've been doing lately is at the end of August, we had, very shortly after my last video, we traveled to New Hampshire to celebrate my stepmother's 80th birthday. And most members of our family traveled there to visit her and to celebrate her birthday. She has been an integral part of our family for years and years and years. She was married to my dad for over 40 years before he passed away. Sadly, it'll be 10 years this year. We had a lovely time celebrating. We were able to all gather at an Airbnb that my sister rented, and that was the focus part for the party, and it was really great. And we adequately celebrated my stepmother Karen as she celebrated 80 years. So it was a wonderful time to gather with family. Long time in the car. We drove to Vermont, or she lived in Vermont. She lives in Vermont, but we had her celebration in New Hampshire. And so I did do a lot of car stitching, which I will talk about later on. But stay tuned for that. I have a lot of finishes to show you today. The other thing that we did was we celebrated my birthday. Yes, I'm getting up there, and I did do teensy tiny on my birthday start, which I will also tell you about later. Then Labor Day weekend, my husband and I traveled to Philadelphia for a very special wedding of a friend of ours. We've known this gentleman. He is 38 years old now and was getting married at a beautiful black tie wedding at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Philadelphia. We have known this guy since he's been about 5. And it was really wonderful to gather with friends from years ago and to celebrate such a wonderful event with this beautiful couple. So we've been very busy. So then after we got back from Labor Day weekend, I was very, very fortunate to go to Pittsford, New York, to Hobby House to their My Life as a Sampler retreat. And that was with Vicki Jeanette and Tanya Brockmeyer, Vicki Jeanette of Needlework Press, Tanya of the Scarlett House, and it was totally wonderful. I flew in to join my friends, Miriam and Sylvia, and they were driving in from Indiana and Ohio. And one thing that happened pretty funny is that we as a group, we love to do antiquing and thrifting and, just finding things on the secondary market that are fun to add to our stitching. And I've shown some of those things before, and I do have some goodies to show today too that I collected on my trips this summer. But anyway, I texted Sylvia when I landed at the airport in Rochester, and she was going to pick me up. And when I texted her, she says, "Oh, we're going to be really late." She says, "We got tied up at an antique shop at a big antique mall." So that was fine with me. I was really appreciative that they were willing to pick me up at the airport. So I just found a nice spot in baggage claim, plugged in my phone, started stitching, and I watched some floss tubes while I was waiting for them to come and pick me up. So we arrived in Pittsford on Thursday evening, went out for a dinner that night. Friday afternoon, the classes were due to start. I won't go into a huge thing about the classes because I know by this date, a number of people have already talked about it on their floss tube, but it was certainly a memorable time. I had some friends that very generously gave me gift certificates to Hobby House for my birthday, so it was always fun to find new treasures shopping at Hobby House. So anyway, I will show you how the retreat went. Dave and Kathy Mills do a wonderful job with their retreats. This was my first one that I have been able to attend from them. And unfortunately, Kathy was unable to be there because she came down with COVID very shortly before the retreat. So Dave, like a true master, he went and ran the whole retreat, and he did a wonderful, wonderful job. If you ever have the chance to join in a retreat at Hobby House, make sure you do it. It was great. So our first evening, the first class was from Tanya of the Scarlett House, and she did this adorable pin cushion. Oh, I know people don't like the crinkling, but I have to crinkle right now. I like the crinkling. It just makes me see what's new and in store. Okay, so Tanya did this. Home is where my samplers are. It's a very, very sweet pin cushion, and it's stitched on 40 count Dolly Madison from Needles and Flax, and with the Overa Soie 100/3 silks. She really included the trim and a pin and things like that in our kit as well. And this is very high on my to stitch next pile. It is just adorable. And then we got her whole bag of 100/3 silks, and these will be used in her sampler as well. So it's not like we got these full skeins just to use on a pin cushion. But it was really nice that she incorporated the same silks, the same color palette with her sampler, so that when we do stitch the sampler, you know, they can kind of go together. It would be nice to sort of display them nearby. So the other class that night was a perforated paper commemoration piece from Needlework Press. And if anybody knows Vicki Jeanette, she loves stitching on perforated paper. I do too. It's very easy. It's very portable. When I mentioned stitching in the car, it is so easy to stitch on the car. In the car on perforated paper. You can just hold it in your hand. One tip I have learned from Kathy Haberman is to put washi tape along the edges of your perforated paper, and it really expedites things because your thread is not getting stuck in the little cutouts of the paper. So anyway, they put lots of threads on the table, and you could select the threads and just do your own thing with stitching this piece. And Vicki said to stay tuned because something would be coming later in the retreat to go along with this, which I will certainly share with you as well. Dinner was provided that night. It was fantastic. The food at the Woodcliff Resort was wonderful, and no expense was spared on the quality of the meals. It was delicious. It was really quite nice. We received breakfast on Saturday and Sunday, and we received dinner on Friday and Saturday, and it was wonderful. So anyway, this is just the perforated paper. So then Saturday, they also had a stitching room that was open till midnight, and you could stay and stitch and visit with friends, and it was great. So then on Saturday, we all joined together for another class with Scarlett House. Here it is from Tanya. And there was an audible wow in the room, gasp, when she presented this. This is called Red Manor Sampler, and it was stitched on 40 count dirty teacup from Needle and Flax. It is just adorable. I love a big house. I really don't mind filling in stitching. It's very relaxing to me and actually gives me a good opportunity to stitch if I'm trying to watch kind of an intricate movie on TV or something like that, that I can follow the movie but also do some stitching at the same time. So this again reuses the threads that she gave out on Friday night. So then the other class on Saturday was from Needlework Press again from Vicki, and it's Hannah Phillips, 1826. And this was stitched on, I forget what this is stitched on. But anyway, I will find it. That's the sampler. And then here's the whole bag of the goodies. There's some threads. There's some spools of, okay, this is the linen. I don't see what it is. Darn it. I should have written it down beforehand. But anyway, somebody else has said it on their floss tubes. But we have silks. We have some beautiful classic color work Belle Soie silks. We have some 103 silks. And then there was a card that had other pieces of threads that we didn't need a full skein of. And here it is here. Look at that fun thread card. So Vicki designed this. We can stitch it 2 different ways. This has a big verse over one, which we can do if we choose to, or else we can just put in the alphabet. And Vicki did a lovely lecture about houses. Here's a little house here. Houses and samplers. She is so interesting to listen to because she has such a wealth of knowledge about needlework and samplers and antiques and kind of just everything. She's just delightful to listen to in her presentations. So anyway, that was Saturday. So dinner was provided again on Saturday, and we had an open bar both Friday and Saturday night, which was really kind of fun. I've never run into that at a retreat before. Sometimes they'll serve wine, but Dave reassured us that the open bar was a gift from them. It was not something that was included in our retreat price, because if some people don't drink, that they don't feel like they're paying for someone else to drink, if, you know, which that was really sweet of him to do, and very nice of him to clarify that, just in case there is people that did not enjoy a cocktail. But it was really nice, gave a really relaxed atmosphere to the retreat. The bartenders were really kind of fun, and it was just super nice. So then on Sunday, we had another class Sunday morning, and again, it was Vicky and Tanya, and what they provided us was a chart with different motifs to create some little ornaments on extra perforated paper, because we did get quite a bit of perforated paper in the pack. And then she had some backing wool. Everybody got different wool, but mine is this nice gray color, which I was thrilled with. And then, remember from Friday night, they wanted to surprise us with something else to go with our perforated paper piece. And they gave us this wonderful box. It's collapsible. There we go. Oh, I can get this together. Okay, so the perforated paper piece from Friday night, when cut out, fits exactly in here. Some people finished it on the retreat, and they took a picture of everyone holding up their piece in the box. And on the back of this, it says, "My life's a sampler, with thanks from Tanya and Vicky, 2023. So it was really, really nice. Okay, so apparently there had been some bad weather over the weekend, and I was due to leave on Monday to go home. My flight was supposed to be at 3:30 in the afternoon. I get to the airport and it said there was a delay. Well, a delay there was. Not only was there a delay, I had to switch airlines. I was switched from JetBlue to American, and then there was like 4 other delays on American. I did not get home until 1:15 in the morning. So it was a long day at the airport, but you know what? It gave me a chance to do some more stitching. Again, I found a comfy spot and just stitched away. So, you know, it all worked out. And that is one thing that is so wonderful about this hobby, is that if we have our stitching, we're good to go. One more thing I wanted to show you is this fawn stitching bag. This is made from repurposed, I think it's drapery material or something. It's all crewel work on the surface of this. And my friend Tamara, who came in from Indiana, also gave me this for my birthday. So I'm keeping projects in here from Hobby House Retreat while I work on them. All right, so moving right along. Okay, one thing that's really nice about these retreats is that you meet new people at your table. Our table was 8 people, and there was 3 of us that traveled together. We knew we were meeting up with 2 other friends, but it gave us an opportunity to have other people join us at our table. And so in doing so, people exchanged some lovely gifts with each other. All right, so our roommate gifts, my friend Miriam gave us this adorable little accessory bag from So Much to Love. It is so cute with all of made out of the stitching fabric. And then she gave us a little notebook. These are for the roommates. She also gave us a little pair of scissors. And these came in the cutest little black paper craft paper envelope with black lettering. The presentation of those was quite nice. Then Miriam also made some counting pins. Oh. And she gave these out to various people at the retreat. She also gave us some thread conditioner. A little charm that said, "Friends are the sunshine of life." So sweet, Miriam. Here, I gotta show you this. This is really cute. And she did give me a little fob, but I already have that on something and I'm not quite sure where that is right now. And then my friend Sylvia, our other roommate, gave me this strawberry that she made that is just so cute. I love the how she used the ruler ribbon on it. And then there's a little charm there. So Sylvia gave us that. And then she also gave us a cup with some retreat essentials. So we got our Vera Bradley cup. And inside the cup was a lanyard, a nice blingy lanyard to put on our name tag. She gave us a foldable shopping bag, a nail file, and a tape measure. So this was really, really fun to have as our little retreat survival kit. And one thing I've noticed at retreats over the last few years is that people have become so sharing and generous with gifting people kind of randomly at the retreat. People came up to our table and put things there. Some people I was able to meet. Some people I didn't meet at all, and I apologize for that. I hope I have everything here. This is from Kim Hollifield, and she's from Texas, and she gave everybody a Texas little thread ring. And Kim was adorable. She shared our table with us, and we really got to know her, and we ended up hanging out with her throughout the weekend, and it was really fun. Not only just sitting at our table. This is from Donna McClellan. Now, I was blown away by this. Donna went and made these star ornaments, folded star ornaments. She had a big bag of them, and then she put a little sticker about the retreat so we can remember where it came from. There was another person named Elise that came to our table, and she gave us this little thread that had a tiny little stitched motif on it and a needle in there. But when I came home, I put this little pumpkin on it that I had, and I just thought it really needed to be there, and it's a cute little thing to have out for the fall. So let's see, there was also some thread tags. And here's some more thread tags. My Life as a Sampler from Hobby House Retreat. And this is from Mickey Sockness on Instagram. It's just so generous of people to share of themselves, you know, and they don't even know you. Somebody else gave us this adorable, how cute is this idea? Adorable little 1-inch square, and it's cut from a yardstick. And you make a thread ring out of it. So cute and so thoughtful. We also, someone else gave me, Karen CZAPLA, came around with little needle minders that she made on buttons. It's really great to see what clever ideas people can come up with to make things that they share with others. I just couldn't get over the generosity. And then here's a little boo-boo stick. This, you just, after you've done some frogging, you just rub this over your linen and it picks up the extra little fibers that are left. And this was from, wait, hadn't opened this, but I see that there's a card in here with the person's name. Oh, this was from Karen Combs. In fact, Karen, I just started watching your floss tubes. So thank you very much, Karen. Okay, so I know I've missed some things, but some of the things I've already put into good use. Some people gave candy, and I pretty much ate that at the airport that day that I was waiting to catch my flight for hours. Other table mates, my friend Tamara from Indiana gave me this lovely scissor and thimble set. And then Robin Lockoff, who is Old Willow Stitchery, gave everyone a chart for a pin cushion, but then she gave me 2 of the Hands Across the Sea tea towels. How great is that? I don't really want to wreck them by using them as tea towels, but I think I might make them into project bags. Nobody can have enough project bags. I absolutely love them. I love seeing what people make. It's just a great way to store my projects, and they're just always fun to have. So Robin, stay tuned. I love it. I might just make a project bag with that. She also gave me a necklace that says "Just a Girl Who Loves Fall," but I took the chain off and made a thread ring out of it by just putting a ring on it. And I'll enjoy having this on my autumn projects. Okay, so I think that pretty much covers retreat. If I did leave anybody out, I really apologize. I really apologize. So at the retreat, it was also great to meet some people that I've seen on FlossTube, or people from the industry that I've never met before. And it's certainly nice to put a person, with the name. So I met Julie Kersave there. Julie is known in the needlework industry. She runs the Homespun Needleworkers group that offers exclusives that you order from her group, that she pairs designers with shops, and then they come up with a project, and that project is available to members of the group for a certain amount of time as an exclusive before it's not available anymore. I think the designers can eventually release it, but not anytime too soon. So I had some nice conversation with Julie Kersave, and she gifted me this beautiful scissor. Here, I'll take it out. This beautiful scissor holder. It's just, I was blown away. It has a little strawberry emery on here, really cute scissors, and this scissor holder. And then the back is blackbird fabric. Now, another person I met there was Kathy Tonelli. Kathy is a friend of Julie Kersave's, and Kathy did the finishing on this. Another reason why I was so glad to meet Kathy is that I have been on some needlework exchanges on Facebook, which those are always fun to do. If you've never done one, it's a great way to meet new stitching friends. It's a real gesture of love to stitch something for someone that you don't know. You know some of their likes and dislikes as far as needlework, but it's a real labor of love to stitch something for someone that you don't know and then make them up a package of goodies that you send to them. And so Kathy actually we gifted each other in an exchange one time, and it was really super nice to meet her. She lives in Canada, and it was great to meet her. I also met Terry, who's also known as Dixie Sampler. She spied me right away. I hear from across the room, "Hey, Lisa." And, she's like, "I'm Terry, I'm Dixie Sampler." And it was really fun to meet her. I've been in her groups for quite a while too. And so again, it's really nice to put a person now with a name that you know from either Instagram or Facebook. I also met Brandon and Karen, Fox and Rabbit Designs. They were there all the way from Australia. Hence, there was a lot of Fox and Rabbit fabric on sale at Hobby House. They brought a lot with them or sent a lot ahead, and that was really fun to meet them. Liz from Antique Needleworkers was there, and it was a real joy to meet Liz as well. And Brenda and Laura were there. Brenda and the Serial Starter, they were there, and Rachel from Needle and Flax. So again, super fun to meet people from all over that you now may know from FlossTube, Facebook, or Instagram. All right, so being that I was at Hobby House, of course I had to shop. So I will show you the haul that I have from there next. Okay, Hobby House has been putting out, they started with this sampler drum kit back a few months ago, and apparently there'll be some smalls that are released throughout the year or year and a half, whatever, and then the sampler that goes with this at the end. So I wanted to get this drum. As you know from one of my other floss tubes, I enjoy putting drums together now that I have it all figured out, and I shared that with you. But I'm doing this on 40 count Thornfield linen by Needles and Flax. And then these are the threads, beautiful threads that go along with it. So I got that, and then they also are offering a scissor holder right now. And this comes with a beautiful wooden piece to hold your scissors. And again, this is on 40 count Thornfield. One thing that was very clever of Kathy when she designed this was offered in several different counts of fabric, but you might wonder how you can do that with the spool being a fixed size. So depending on the linen size that you choose, Kathy has designed extra bands. So your tighter the weave, you need some extra bands to fill up this whole area. So anyway, I thought that was very clever. So I got 40 count. I think 46 is the highest it goes. 32 might be the lowest. So anyway, can't wait to get started on that. And I was thrilled to use my gift certificate that I had for my birthday from my dear friend Debbie and Ava for my birthday. So that's what I purchased with their gift certificates. It's always nice to have something that you can really identify as how you spent a gift certificate. So I also bought, when I was there, Spring Moon from Plum Street Samplers. This was a kit, this was a chart that I believe was exclusive for Fox and Rabbit for quite a while. And now it's released to the general public. So I just bought the chart for that. Didn't bother with the linen or the threads right for now, but I will. I love the whole harvest of everything. I love gathering all my supplies and the linen and having it all on the ready in a project bag. So some night, if I'm up late stitching and I just get this thought in my head, hey, I need to start Spring Moon, I can just grab it and get started on it, even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so I bought that. I also treated myself to lots of linen. I was really excited to find this. This is a whole yard of 36 count doubloon that I got from Picture This Plus. It's a great neutral linen. Really nice modeling on this. And so I was excited to find a whole yard of that. I also purchased a fat quarter of some 36 count white clay from Fox and Rabbit. A quarter of 36 count baked clay from Fox and Rabbit. Some 36 count light hazelnut from XJew Designs. Here, let me take this out. This is a really nice neutral color for samplers also. I was able to secure a piece of, sorry for the crinkling, 36 count Steinbeck from Needle and Flax. Love this fabric. And some 36 count Dirt Track from Fox and Rabbit. So in addition to those, I just also got some small pieces of 32 count Lugana. And the reason I got these is because, you know, my friend Sylvia likes to do little covered buttons, then put them on a Scrabble board, Scrabble tile board. And so I got some of these Luganas because this is what she generally tends to use. And so now I'm set to stitch others of hers as she designs them. Speaking of which, Sylvia has come out with some new designs, and here is one of the Scrabble board ones that I mentioned. This is Acorn. Now I have to say, Sylvia sent me the preliminary design when she first designed this. And I said, oh my gosh, that's adorable. I have to stitch that. So she said, okay, well, you can stitch my model if you'd like. So I did. I stitched the model. So she used this to photograph her chart. But then when she was finished with it, she sent me all the letters back so I can use it in my fall displays. So anyway, that's a new one from Running with Needles and Scissors. And while I was there, I also was able to get Sylvia's other new design. These are some of her other new releases in August. This one is great. This is called My Father's House. Look at that big house in there. This one's great. So she did My Father's House. Here's a very sweet black sampler called The Innocence of Childhood. And she stitched this with antique black Gloriana silk. She's done this one, Love You More. This is a very sweet thing on here. I love you more today than when I said I do. And actually, I'm getting ready to stitch this for Mr. Huzzah for our anniversary, our 33rd wedding anniversary in November. So I have everything all gathered to do this. But this is a very sweet piece, and it's really not that big. I'm stitching it on 36 count, so it'll be 10.2 by 4.5 inches. So I can't wait to get started on that, and I will certainly share my progress on that with you. And then here's the first in the Tombstone series that Sylvia is doing, Evelyn Eyelet. And these are all mounted on boards from April Whitaker. So, and April's on Etsy. I think she's Homestead Designs, I think. I could be wrong, but it's April Whitaker. So that's what I have as far as my haul from Hobby House. There's one other thing that I have purchased recently. Oh, I'm sorry, all this reaching. I've never used this sulky thread, but I ordered this from the Hands On Design website. I've seen these ornaments, these Christmas ornaments stitched, and I really liked them and thought it would give me a nice opportunity to try to use this sulky thread. I've seen on FlossTube that a lot of people do use it and they enjoy it, and I was able to order both from the Hands On Design website. So we'll give that a try. Let's see here. Oh, okay, this is a big one. This is not, all right, recently, well, I have taken care of my floss storage for my overdye cottons. I have them all separated by color groups on big rings. But it seems like I can never get my DMC organized. Years ago, I had all of the DMC and they were all bobbinated in a little plastic containers that I had. Just seemed what everybody was doing back many years ago with DMC. And then I got lazy about bobbinating them. I didn't like that they would kind of get folds in them where they were wrapped around the bobbin. And actually I ended up donating all of them to my daughter's Girl Scout troop when she was way younger. She's now 31, but years ago I donated them. So as I amassed DMC in the years after that, I just had a Tupperware container that I threw them all in, and whenever I needed DMC, I would take the time to dig through my container to see what I had, or honestly, more likely, I would just go out and buy more. And then my big pile of DMC would just grow and grow and grow. And then a year or so ago, when everybody was doing floss drops, as I would use DMC, I would put them on the floss drops, and then when I was finished with them, just throw them all in a Ziploc bag. So recently I decided I had to do something to manage my DMC. Well, I forget who I was watching on FlossTube, and they got the ball rolling for me. So if anybody knows who started this on FlossTube, please send me a comment about it. But anyway, they were showing these. And this is actually a little bag, reusable zip bag. They advertise it on Amazon for pills. Honestly, I wish I had something like this when my mom was alive. It might have really helped her take her pills on the right day at the right time and what have you. But anyway, I can't go backwards. So anyway, these are sold on Amazon, and the size of them is about 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So I ordered some of these. The people that I saw on FlossTube were punching a hole in them and putting another ring and using this for their DMC storage. Well, I ordered these, and when they came, I realized that I had way too much DMC to fit nicely in these bags. Also, my little floss drop cards wouldn't fit either. So then, after digging around Amazon some more, I found they had some bigger ones. But these you could order in smaller quantities, and they were way more expensive. I really don't know why, but these were about 3 1/4 by about 3 1/2. And once again, they didn't fit the floss drop card, because people are using, for floss drops, they were using like business card size things. So I got on Amazon again, and I found this. Now these don't have a zipper top, like a little slide zipper, but it is a nice firm, like a Ziploc thing. And these measure 4 1/4 by about 4 1/4. These are perfect. So I ordered a pack of 100 to try. I do have the link that I will hold up. Be cautious if you look on this link. There's several different sizes listed on the link. The one I got, they were over 4 inches by 4 inches each bag. So these have been perfect. So I took my little label maker, and I'm just trying to organize my DMC. I'm not exactly looking to get the whole range of DMC, but I'm looking to keep organized what I do have. So I'm organizing my DMC and putting it in numerical order so that when I go to do a project the next time, I can just pull them all. So here's where I've gotten so far. I actually have another ring of this. So I have them all in these bags and organized. So some of these bags, okay, so here, there's also a floss drop in here too, and they fit perfectly. Some of the bags have multiple skeins of DMC, and they fit perfectly. So these were great. These were, I think, $16.99 or $16.88 per 100. So again, I caution you to be careful if you get on the link. It's one link, and then there's different sizes offered. So one thing that's great, though, if you do get the wrong thing or something smaller than works for your needs, Amazon's great about returning. So this is the link. You can take a screenshot of this for these little bags. Okay. I will caution you, they do smell kind of plasticky when you first get them, kind of very plasticky when you first get them. But I separated them all out on a tray, and then over the next few days, the smell does decrease and then eventually go away. My husband is in the plastics industry, and he said that's just a stabilizer that they use and should not harm anything, and that the smell, will continue to decrease. So anyway, that was my great find. I'm so excited to get my DMC organized. Throughout the process, I did see that I have some anchor floss. I don't really have very much anchor floss, but I'm going to organize that as well. So there you have that. Okay, some stitchy kindness. Some of you have known, if you've seen my other floss tubes, that I have a tree that I'm using for my Halloween tree, and when I started with it, it was empty. I thought that I would be stitching the Blackbird little Halloween stockings. I have stitched one and started on a second one, but I haven't gotten too far with those for this fall. I haven't completely finished, fully finished the one that I have stitched completely, but my tree is starting to be decorated. So here's some stitchy kindness here. Here's my tree so far, my Halloween tree. Here's the bats that I talked about in another floss tube. But when I was mentioning exchanges, I was recently in an exchange for the fall, and when we put what we liked, our likes, I said, I'm really looking for some ornaments. Hey, it takes a village, right, to fill this tree. I was looking for some ornaments to go with my Halloween tree. So a lovely new stitching friend named Eve Colgan stitched me 2 ornaments for my Halloween tree. They are just adorable and are perfect. I love that fabric on the back. And then she stitched me this hoo-hoo design. So cute. So again, if you join in a stitching exchange, it is really just a wonderful, wonderful way to meet new friends. Okay, so I have some finishes. Wow, this is getting to be a long video. Well, you can watch it in 2 parts if you want. It's okay. Okay, so along the Halloween theme, when I was on my car journeys this summer, I did some stitching on perforated paper. This is for my tree also. This is Yow. And this is a Prairie Schooler design. It's from the Boo to You book. And so all I did is I stitched this on perforated paper, cut it out. And before I cut it out, I, with one strand, did a back stitch around the whole thing and joined some felt to it. And then I very carefully took my rotary cutter and cut the scalloped edge around. One thing I will caution you is the, when I stitched, I think I cut my scallop edge before I stitched the felt to it here, because I wanted to be able to put in my hanger. So I had just used some straight pins to pin the perforated paper to the backing. I first cut that first edge and then back stitched that first to include the hanger on it, and then went around and did the other 3 sides. And then at the end, I did cut that with the rotary cutter. So here's Yow, and that goes on my tree as well. So then also in my car stitching this summer, like I said, we had a lot of it. I purchased this frame at Michael's. Really cute. You can find the best things for finishing at Michael's. So this moon that says Harvest was another design in the Boo to You booklet from Prairie Schooler. So I wanted to make this more of a fall Thanksgiving piece than just Halloween. Halloween seems like it comes and it's gone so quickly. So then And again, I backed this with the felt the same way, the wool felt, backed it the same way, and then cut it out with my rotary cutter, my pinking rotary cutter. So then I did this cornucopia from another Prairie Schooler book, and that book was a Prairie Year 2. But instead of using the colors that they suggested, because they didn't really blend with the colors from my harvest, I just incorporated some of the harvest colors into the cornucopia piece to make them look like they go together more. But I'm telling you, at Michael's, you can find the cutest things for finishing. You just try to look beyond the piece itself, and you can find really unique ways to do your finishing that are very reasonable. I know framing can get expensive, so this is a nice way to fully finish other things without incurring the costs that you would otherwise. So in those same lines, I wanted to show some other Halloween pieces that I have done using things that I've gotten from Michael's. I did these last year. I think one of them I showed on a floss tube I did with my friend Sylvia, but that was a while ago, and they're so cute that it's worth showing again. This here was Halloween. This was a Halloween project that Hands-On Design. Kathy Haberman advertised on her floss tube that you signed up for it, and over a couple days you received different parts of the chart. She had this, I believe, finished on a board, but instead I found this at Michael's. It had something on here that said something about fall or autumn or Halloween or what have you, but I just was able to pry that off very easily and then mount my Halloween piece in it. I was just tickled when I saw it because my little Halloween guy that all came on this, it was part of this, kind of looks like the same pumpkins in the piece. So that was kind of fun. So that's the one piece. The other thing is this clock. This clock was also from Michael's. I got it last year. Oh, I see I need to fix the time on that. That's certainly not the time here now. But this was stitched over one, I believe, on 28 count Lugana, Joblin, whatever the 28 count is. And this was actually a portion of a Teresa Kogut design that she had on Patreon. Well, one of my friends is a Patreon subscriber, and she doesn't really do Halloween. So she gave me the pattern, and then I went and did this little witch. And then in order to fill in some other things, I just put in some other little motifs from this way larger sampler and just mounted it inside this clock. So but it's really cute. It's Halloweeny, and up here here I'll show you. There's little bats. There's bat up there. And super fun piece. And all I did was mount it on a piece of mat board, put a piece of Warm and Natural over it, and just trialed it to see that it would fit. And cut down the mat board until it fit properly, and then did my mounting of it. And I think it's just stuck in there. I don't think it's glued in or anything. It just wedged itself right in that little clock. So fun. So enjoy and really take the time to just look at things in a different way, and possibly you'll come up with some fun ways to finish. Speaking of which, this is a little pumpkin that I gave out to some people at the retreat at Hobby House. This was already a wool pumpkin that I had found these pumpkins and then just affixed it into a vintage tin that I found at Goodwill or an antique mall or something. And then I made these little counting pins to go into it. So it makes a fun little Halloween pin cushion. Okay, so some of my other finishes, being that my last video was Mary Cox and I didn't show any of my more recent finishes, I do have a lot to show you. So here's another finish that I did. This was for the Delaware Valley Historic Needlework Guild. This was the Remember Me tree from Liz Matthews. And I finished this. Here I backed it with sampler fabric. Finished this. It was a kit that we could buy through the Guild. Instead of using the wooden spool that Liz provided, I have a vintage doorknob that really works great to support this tree. Just a really cute finish. And instead of using a flat piece of styrofoam, I cut down a tree-shaped styrofoam so that the whole piece is rounded instead of flat. So, and I did this as part of the Colorado Cross Stitcher summer camp, summer stitch camp. The August challenge was to do something that you've never done before, something new to you, and I had never stitched any of the Liz Matthews trees and had never done finishing this way. But it really worked up very quickly and was a lot of fun. I did have some Spanish moss to go up here. I have no idea what I did with it. It's still in that safe place. So other finishes I had. This is a Scarlett House design. Ho, ho, ho. And I did this into a little pillow. Here's the backing. And then I made some thin floss cording to go around the edge. And this is stuffed with walnut shells. So this was a Scarlett House design. You know, I didn't really realize this would be as time consuming as it was, but there is a lot of stitching in filling out that Merry Christmas. So I put a little bow down there with a button, kind of looks like the bow on the package. That's what it looked like to me anyway. So that's another finish. Here is, I stitched this at the airport in Rochester on one of my flight delays. This is a little purse. I think I showed this as a start one time and then I hadn't done anything with it. I kind of went rogue with my stitching and realized I had so many mistakes. So I took the time at the airport to take out the mistakes and restitch it. And this is just a pre-made little accessory bag. Super cute. Shepherd's Bush has a number of these, all different kinds of these bags. I've stitched quite a few. From one of my floss tubes, I will pull out some of the other ones I've done. Really nice project to do. The only thing I would suggest before getting started is to kind of do your thread count this way and across, run a basting thread and find the center, because these are those Adams Originals bags, and it's just, you know, the thread count is not always the same on every one. So you can either fold it in both directions and place a pin in the center here to find your middle, or I just run a basting thread across and that kind of keeps me on track. So that's another finish that I've had. But wait, there's more. So I have also done, back in the beginning of summer, I had a summer solstice project, and my summer solstice project was fishtails from Hands On Design. It's a shop exclusive for Salty Yarns. They do have some available. It comes as an entire kit with all of the finishing materials, and there's like a little box. This creates like a stitching box. The box comes with it and wonderful directions on how to put it all together. So I started this piece on the first day of summer, and I did finish all the pieces and parts. They're not put together yet, but that will be on a coming floss tube. So here we have, this is for the little, there's like a block pin cushion. Here's the bottom. I stitched summer solstice, my initials, and the year. So this goes, will be a block pin cushion. And then this is the side of the pin cushion. And here it says, a wave comes splashing over your toes. You just stand still, away it goes. I have to say this piece was a lot of fun to stitch and not really, it worked up very quickly. Then here's 3 little fob pieces that were also part of the kit. And so those all go in the stitching box. And then this is the lid. And this says, a fishtail has nothing on a salty yarn. So again, it ties in the Salty Yarns Needlework shop. And it was a really fun piece to stitch. So stay tuned and you will see it once I fully finish it into the sewing box. And the sewing box, the kit comes with all kinds of accessories to put into the box as well. There's a really cute floss tag. There's a little Ort jar. I'm going to use it for buttons though, because I found some really cute whimsical fish buttons that I'm going to put in it. There's a waxer. There's all kinds of things, but I'll put the contact information for Salty Yarns there as well. So let's see. The other thing that I have finished, actually that might be my finishes. I have some whips that I've been giving a lot of love during Sampler September. This is Martha Martin, 1831. This I got through Sampler Guild of the Rockies. Not this past spring, but the spring before. And I've given Martha a lot of love at this time. So I almost have the border done. I am a border first kind of person when I can, because then I can fit everything else in. So I just have a few more of these berries along the edge to complete, and then I'll get more into the motifs. But that's Martha Martin. She's been a lot of fun to do. Okay, let's see. This is, I've made a lot of progress on Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House. She is a big girl, and I'm stitching her on 36 count Dolly Madison with Classic Colorworks bandana. So here we go. Here's, let me hold her back enough. Dasher and Dancer. I was hoping to get the deer there filled, completely stitched before I visited with you all today, but I didn't. But there'll be more done on the next time. So that's Dasher and Dancer from Hobby House Press. And my birthday start is a very sad start. I was stitching Scarlett House, Catherine Croft, and I started with the sampler that all these other pieces are on. Like, it makes all of this. Okay, you ready for this? Fail. That's all I have done on her right now. I have met a new stitchy friend from New Zealand through Floss Tube. She sent me a message on Instagram and said that she would like to start Catherine with me for my birthday. She has gotten a lot more stitch than I have, but Catherine does look very cute in this project bag that my friend Stacy sent me for my birthday, and it says my birthday stitch. So this is really nice quilted material. The lettering is all embroidered on there. I was so tickled to get this for my birthday, and then the fabric says happy birthday on it. So my birthday stitch will live in this as I make progress eventually. Okay, the other thing that I've been working on was one of the Hands Across the Sea samplers. I was lucky enough to get one of Nicola's first boxes of her summer travels, and this one, Matilda. And I have to thank Shelly from Antique Needleworkers, because she showed this on one of her floss tubes, and she mentioned the threads that she was using, which she was using Classic Colorworks Cherry Cobbler and Wavy Navy. And so I really like that, so I went ahead and ordered that. And then I also got Brea, I think it's 36 count Brea linen, that I started Matilda on that. Most of the samplers from that sampler box were all red, but I really like this one, how it had the red and the blue, and seeing Shelly's I just really liked it. And so that's been one of my sampler September things to stitch as well. And my ongoing project is my temperature tree for the year. It's really starting to fill in. Every day, this is from Stitchin' Mommy, and this tree has 12 branches, and every day I record the high temperature in my town for the day. And then there's all these leaves charted out. There's enough. January started here, and there was, so January's 31 days, there was 31 spots for leaves, and so on and so forth. So it accounted for February, it accounted for the 31 day months and the 30-day months, and each color corresponds to a 4-degree range of temperature. So it's really nice to see how this tree evolves. It was a hot summer here, and then we're starting to cool down a little bit, and my colors are starting to change back into the colors used for the cooler temperatures. So it'll be interesting to see how this finishes out at the end of the year. One thing I really like about it, it's a project I can't rush. I can just do one little leaf a day. Some days I don't get a chance to stitch that one little leaf, but I say, you know, I always make sure I mark down the temperature for the day and stitch it in when I do get a chance. But this temperature tree has really been a lot of fun. It's not really very large at all. Let me see how big it is here. It is. It's only about 6 inches by 6 inches. I'm stitching it over 1 on Lugana, and it's really been fun to do. So I do have more finishes. I have some framed pieces, a couple more. This is Jane Stanwick's from Samplers Revisited. I stitched Jane. I actually finished her in 2022, but she was getting framed at the Jill Rensel studio in Ogden, Utah. And Jill does beautiful framing. Nothing is rushed there, so you do have to be patient. But this Jane Stanwick's is stitched on 36 count linen. I'm using the color conversion from Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. But I just love how Jane turned out. So I just received her back about 2 weeks ago. So there's Jane Stanwick's. I also have another one that was framed at the same time by Jill. And this is Barbara Anna, Santa's Trips. And this turned out really cute. I love how the frame blends with this. I don't know if you can really see it, but there's little areas that there's red on it, and it kind of mimics the berries. Santa's Trips was a lot of fun to stitch. There you go, you can see it. Super fun to stitch, and these were totally worth the wait from Jill Rensel. She is so meticulous in her framing. Jill and Amber, they both work there, and totally worth the wait for Jill. So I can't wait to put this out for the holiday. And then when my video's finished, my Jane Stanwick's will get a prominent place on my wall. Okay, this is a far reach. I had a lot of stuff here for you guys today. All right, so after I was back from Hobby House retreat, there was a Mary Cox Zoom class that I was doing with the Exemplary Needlework Guild in Buffalo, New York. I did have contact information down for that on my last floss tube. Unfortunately, the Zoom that she had a few weeks ago was already closed out by the time I did my video. But Mary is teaching there again next September. So I will have guild information in my show notes. She's also teaching at the Attic, from what I understand, in Mesa, Arizona in January. So you can look into that. But my Mary Cox class was the Pet Lamb sewing set. So this is so cute. Mary had instruction for a few hours on Zoom. In the kit, this is a tough box to get open. In the kit are full directions There's finishing fabric, our linen to stitch on, full complement of threads. Here's a better picture of the, and she gave us all the finishing directions, and her finishing is quite easy. She gave us scissors, some needles, some vintage buttons and needles. And then there's stitching needles too, but there's a packet of vintage needles for us to put in our sewing kit. She always does that. She often includes vintage or items. Here's some vintage ribbon that is used in the piece as well. Here's some more 100/3 threads. And this little acrylic piece that is part of it. Now, this acrylic piece will tuck into the bag that we create. It has a cute little handle that you stitch for it, and this will house all the little smalls that go with it. I haven't known Mary to do acrylic before. I think she said her son-in-law did these for her. So that'll be a fun new thing to do. So I'm looking forward to keeping you all updated on that as I get to it. A friend of mine and I are traveling to Ocean City, Maryland in the next couple weeks, and just to have some stitching time. And we decided, well, she asked me after my Mary Cox video, she says, what do you think we make it a Mary Cox stitching weekend? So that's what we're going to do. We're taking projects that we haven't done and or haven't completed yet and work on those. So that's what I have there. The other thing is last weekend with the Western Reserve Sampler Guild in Ohio, they had what they call Designer Day. Now, Designer Day, I've known about it before, but have not been able to participate before, but it's really a clever idea. What they do is they select a designer that they will feature, and they contact that designer and let them know they will be featured on Designer Day. In the past, sometimes a designer has joined in as well on the meeting. Sometimes, and they often will send gifts to be given away, raffles, whatever. Well, this year, the Designer Day was Marcia from the Scarlet Letter. And Marcia very generously sent tons of charts for them to give away in Designer Day. Also, guild members either stitched some little pin cushions or made some project bags or things like that to be given away during the event. And they had it was hybrid. They had some in person and then a great number of people on Zoom. So I was able to participate in Designer Day. Also, it gives you a good opportunity to work on some of those projects you may have from that designer while you're stitching with others that day. So the Scarlet Letter piece that I have that I've been working on, picking away at it slowly but surely, is a peacock, unicorn, and badger. Now I'm stitching this. I bought the whole kit from Scarlet Letter, and it's 40 count linen. I don't know what type linen it is, but it's 40 count linen, and it's stitched with Veriswa silks. Now, this is a big girl, and I have not gotten very far on her, but I will show you. It's just beautiful. This is my progress so far. Again, I like to get my borders done, so I did stitch all the way across, and I'm trying to work my way down and then across again so that I can get my whole border and start filling in. Look at these beautiful, beautiful silks. These are all of Veriswa silks. And when I first got this, probably a year or so ago, my sweet friend Miriam got me a little floss tag that has the completed project of the peacock, unicorn, and badger on it. So that was really thoughtful of her. So anyway, that's the piece I was stitching on. I was anxious to do that after I had done another Scarlet Letter full piece. I stitched this during COVID, And this is the 30 Days Half November piece. Now, Terry Neemzora, a guild member of Western Reserve Sampler Guild, stitched this, and she showed it on their Facebook page, and she changed it up a little bit. There was a few, this is stitched on 40 count linen, it's full coverage. There was a few areas that it was stitched over 1, but she changed the chart that they'd be over 2. This sun was over 1, some berries here were over 1, and I think something down here was over 1. So she changed it that she made it over 2. And she also changed the verse a little bit. I don't know if you can see it from there quite well, but I will read it to you. And when I saw this during COVID, I said, I have to do that. And I contacted Terry and asked her if she minded if I used her, you know, if I would chart it the same way. And she was so gracious that she sent me the changes for me to stitch. So here it says, 30 days half November, April, June, and September of 28 is but 1, and the remnants 30 and 1. So this is where she changed at the bottom. She put, worked in the year of bewilderment, 2020, WTF. Kind of funny. So years from now, I don't know if WTF will be something that people still say or understand, but it's there. And it's there with just initials and not sounding so crude. And then she also charted out a coronavirus right there. And then I put my initials here. But this piece was so much fun. This is totally COVID. Look at the eyebrows on this lady. She has her COVID eyebrows. They have not seen a tweezer in a long time. And so this was a really fun piece to stitch during the pandemic. And once I finished that, I really wanted to do the other. So that's why I bought the Peacock, Unicorn, and Badger. And the way the charts are designed, I can't really show you the chart, but they are so easy to follow. They're in full color. And when you're stitching, it's almost as if you're coloring. They really are very easy to follow. So anyway, at Designer Day with Western Reserve Sampler Guild, they also had some prizes. So I was actually the first winner of a prize. I won this project bag that someone generously stitched for the event. And it's using Ohio fabric, which, like I mentioned, the guild is in Ohio. And I lived in Ohio for 5 years back in the 90s, and I truly loved it and really miss my Ohio friends quite a bit. In fact, when I was doing my Mary Cox video, I was speaking about some of my Ohio friends that were stitched into my pieces, and that was one of the few times that I got kind of emotional. So anyway, Marcia of the Scarlet Letter so generously donated so many charts that everyone that was there, either in person or on the Zoom, won a chart or won a prize, and then they still had extras, so they put everyone's names back in the pile and drew names again, and I won again. I won Abigail Bacon, and this is a sampler, I think from, it's a New England sampler, and she felt it was from Connecticut. So generous, and this was just last weekend, and I already received my gifts in the mail, which was super, super nice. So I'm almost done, but I have a few other things to show you that I've received, that I found in my recent antiquing that I have done. Okay, so remember I was telling you that Miriam and Sylvia got a little delayed in the antique mall, but they are so sweet and they bought me a present. So this little naked little porcelain doll, they know I really enjoy the little dollies, and they gifted me this. She is so sweet, and I will treasure her, and I can't wait to find some vintage fabrics or linens that I make her little outfit. So they gifted me her, and when When we went antiquing, I went to an antique store when I went for my stepmother's birthday, and I found this tin. Now this tin is very textured, looks like it's cross-stitch. It was only $12, and then I think the booth had a discount also, but the inside is still very nice, doesn't smell, and it was said it was made in the USA, so there's not so many things made like that in the USA anymore. So I was thrilled to find this. I think I'm going to line this at some point. In fact, in either my next floss tube or one soon, I would like to do a video on a tutorial on how to line a shaker box or tin. A lot of people commented to me after my Mary Cox video that they would love to learn how to do that. And it's really not a very involved process. And so I will try to make up demos for everything and demonstrate how to line a tin or a wooden shaker box or even like a paper mache box. So that's one thing I got. The other thing that I was excited to find was this antique knife box. That's what they call them. And usually when I've seen these, they've been priced at $50 or more. I think this one was at $40. It's in really good shape. I haven't even conditioned the wood yet, but I think I will condition the wood somewhat. But these are really handy to display little seasonal pin cushions, things that you've made, or use it with your stitching supplies in next to your stitchy spot. You can put a little piece in the bottom there if you choose, a little stitched piece or some little mat that you make. But this is really, I was excited to find this. I found this at an antique shop in Vermont. The other thing I found when we did go to an antique shop on Sunday after the Hobby House retreat, I found this little orange, pinky orange flower frog that is great to set into something and use for scissors. Well, I have to tell you, maybe it had something to do with me flying home on 9/11, but this was in my suitcase, and TSA went absolutely crazy digging through my bag, and I had to laugh when they pulled this out, and they had no idea what it was. And when I told them that it's really used to assist with flower arranging, they kind of laughed, but they were like after this in my stitched bag. Okay, the other thing that I found that I was really excited to find was this box of the Little Bisque penny dolls. In my other videos, I've talked about how I really enjoy having one of these little dolls with me when I stitch or in my little project bags it's just kind of fun. I just kind of feel like stitchers from the past might have had them with them. And on this box, it says dolls for under the tree. So I bought the whole box of them. And for my giveaway today, I would love to share some with all of you. So I have this little one here, this little girl, and she's holding a dog. There's another one with a little girl holding a doll. And a little boy holding a book. So I'll hold them all up together. I will tell you a little bit about these dolls. They were made in Germany or Japan. They were called penny dolls because they pretty much would sell for a penny. They were often found for sale in sweet shops, in candy shops. They've only been fired once, and then they've been fired and then painted after that. So the paint, you'll often find them that a lot of paint is missing because these are a little bit, they've just been through a lot. They're a little bit dirty. They could use a little bit of cleaning. I find I clean them very gently on the parts that are not painted with a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol on it. And you can kind of clean them up. if you get on the painted areas, the paint will come off. So, but that's part of the charm of these little guys. They're just really sweet, and they come to you with just various amounts of paint because they've been loved and used, and you know, some of the paint comes off. So my words that you need to use to enter to win any of these will be dog, and that's for the little girl with a dog. So like and subscribe and leave a comment using dog if you would like to try to win her. There's another little one, doll. So it will be dog, doll. She's holding a little doll. She's very sweet. And then the third one is book, if you would like to win this little sweet little boy. So they're very cute. They were popular, very popular in the mid 1800s and early 1900s. So they are quite old. They have quite a history, and they used to sell for a penny. So that's why they're called penny dolls. Very similar to frozen Charlotte dolls, but a little bit different. If you look up on Wikipedia, penny dolls or frozen Charlottes, they are similar but different. So I have kept you folks a long time today. I thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I'm thrilled to be back. I'm thrilled to be here. I can't wait to show you the progress on the pieces that I'm working on. I can't wait to see those of you that have floss tubes yourself. I can't wait to catch up with your lives and with what you're doing. Floss tube has been such a blessing to me. I have really, really enjoyed it. I am just overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the amount of subscribers. And it's just something that I really look forward to sharing with you. So anyway, that's about all I have for you today, my friends. Until the next time, may you find calm, joy, and relaxation in your stitches. Bye-bye. Until the next time.